Hi dears, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss Act 4 of William Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. Before moving directly to the summary, let's discuss what's happening in Act 4. This act shows the political consequences of Caesar's assassination. Instead of peace, Rome moves deeper into violence, power struggle, and moral decay. We see the rise of the second triumvirate and the growing tension between Brutus and Cassius. Next point, major scenes of Act 4. Act 4 consists of three important scenes. Scene 1 shows the formation of second triumvirate in Rome. Scene 2 shift to Sardis where Cassius and Brutus meet, and the readers comes to know that they are not in a good relationship. Scene 3 is the famous quarrel scene. That means the continuation of scene 2, ending with the appearance of Caesar's ghost. Here begins the summary of scene 1. Let's discuss the setting of scene 1. Scene 1 is set in a house in Rome. Time has passed since Caesar's death. Mark Antony has now become extremely powerful, and he is no longer the emotional friend we saw earlier, but a cold and calculating politician. Next point, formation of the triumvirate. Mark Antony, Octavius, and Lepidus form the second triumvirate. A triumvirate is a political alliance of three rulers. They plan how to control Rome and eliminate their enemies. Antony clearly dominates the group. The triumvirates prepare a list which contains the names of the people who must be killed. These include even close relatives. Antony's nephew and Lepidus' brother is there, showing how power has destroyed human values. Their goal is to remove opposition and secure absolute control. Next point is about Antony and Lepidus. Antony sends Lepidus to fetch Caesar's will. After Lepidus went, Antony openly insulted him. Antony considers Lepidus weak, unoriginal, fit only to run errands, and he calls him a slight, unmeritable man, an ass and a horse. This shows Antony's arrogance and political cruelty. Students, please note all these things, okay? Octavius disagrees with Antony and tells him that he has underestimated the worth of Lepidus, who is an experienced and a brave soldier. Antony does not agree with Octavius and goes on to say that Lepidus is a mere follower and imitator with no personality. This scene reveals Antony's true nature as a manipulator and power-hungry leader. This scene ends with the preparations for the civil war. Antony informs Octavius that Brutus and Cassius are raising an army. The triumvirate decides to attack immediately. That's the end of scene 1. Let's move to the summary of scene 2. Let's discuss the setting. Scene 2 shifted to Brutus' camp near Sardis. Both sides are preparing for battle. Rome is now divided and war seems unavoidable. Meeting at Sardis. Brutus and Cassius plan to join forces at Sardis. Antony and Octavius are marching towards them. This meeting is crucial because it decides their next course of action. Next point is the arrival of messengers. Titus and Pindarus arrives from Cassius' camp. Pindarus is the servant of Cassius. Pindarus delivers a letter from Cassius to Brutus. This scene prepares us for the emotional conflict that follows. Two more characters are introduced in this scene, Lucius and Lucilius. Okay. Pindarus hands Brutus a letter from Cassius. Brutus criticizes Cassius in front of servants, which is improper. This moment reveals Brutus' lack of political tact and diplomacy. Brutus and Cassius meet in this scene. Brutus continues to speak harshly about Cassius. The tension increases and the both leaders decide to discuss matters privately inside Brutus' tent. This leads to the famous quarrel scene. So let's move to the next scene, scene 3, which is the continuation of scene 2. Scene 3 is one of the most powerful scenes in the play. It shows the breakdown of friendship between Brutus and Cassius. Personal emotions and political disagreements clash violently. Cassius accuses Brutus of punishing Lucius Pella unfairly. Brutus accuses Cassius of corruption and greed, using the phrase itching palm. Both men attack each other's moral values. Cassius becomes extremely emotional and angry. He even says he would be killed Brutus if they were not friends. Brutus remains calm, firm, and controlled. Next point is money dispute. Brutus explains that he refused Cassius money because it was obtained dishonestly. Cassius feels deeply hurt and insulted. This scene highlights the contrast between Brutus' idealism and Cassius' practicality. Reconciliation. Cassius finally breaks down and expresses his pain. Brutus is moved by his friend's emotions. The two reconcile and renew their friendship, at least temporarily. Next, they discuss about the news of death of Varsha. Brutus reveals the tragic news of Portia's death. She commits suicide by swallowing burning coals. Brutus shows remarkable self-control, revealing his report from Messala. Messala brings a shocking news. Many senators have been executed, including Cicero. Note down this point, okay? This shows how cruel and violent the triumvirate has become. Next point is tragic disagreement. Cassius suggests waiting for the enemy, but Brutus insists on marching to Philippi. Brutus overrules Cassius. Night scene. Late at night, Brutus asks Lucius to play music. Lucius falls asleep while playing. The scene creates a quiet emotional atmosphere before the tragedy. Next point is Caesar's ghost appears. The ghost of Caesar appears before Brutus. It calls itself Brutus, evil spirit, and predicts they will meet again at Philippi. This supernatural event foreshadows Brutus' downfall. Next point is what happened after the ghost exists. Brutus remained calm despite the frightening vision. He sent orders to march early to Philippi. The final battle is now inevitable. So these are the important points of Act 4. Act 4 shows the moral collapse after Caesar's death. Antony emerges as a ruthless leader. Brutus' tragic flaw becomes clearer. The act prepares us for the Battle of Philippi and the tragic ending. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. All the best for your exams.